It's just, I've noticed, like, I feel like I'm like 0 for 10 on my last 10 Roku trades. I traded a lot, but it's been so wild lately. Ho, 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 who do you know? Ho, 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 who do you know? Morning, everybody. What's going on in the hood? Good. How's everybody doing? Where's the pizza party at? There's a lot of plays out today, so hopefully everybody's ready to roll. Cool. Hey, AJ. Jay, what's up, baby? What's going on? How's everybody doing? Cody, what's up? Everybody good? Everybody good in the hood? Christian, what's up? I see you lurking. Mr. Schnitz, what's going on? Okay, let's do this. Everybody ready to roll? What are you guys watching? Show me your goodies. Haha, Jay, what's up, baby? Cool, we got a lot of things to do. First, let's take a look at the general market. We got another gap up in the market. We're in Gap City these days. That's just the way the market's rolling right now. You know, you get a little bit of a flush down sometimes, but like the true strength is like, see, like these tails you see on the market. It's really telling you something that the market is just going gangbusters right now. It is like you can't stop it. It's just been going. It flushes down, then you just gap back up. It takes a lot of the man. It takes a lot of the juice out of the market right now. So just something to be mindful of. Yeah, you're not really like this market. You just can't fight it. That's for sure. Haha. Baidu's good. So let's talk about this. We got a million stocks to watch today, and so we got to definitely. Cool. Hey, Anna Banana. Let's go into these are my tops. All right. So I'm gonna go through the top list, and then there's almost too many to really go over. So you guys gotta download, study. That's the list. Let's go in these. My favorite for today, Expedia. I think this one's got multiple levels of breakdown here. Roku is going to be obviously Roku's going to be probably the most well-known stock that's moving around today. I think this Expedia will probably move a little bit cleaner. You've got a big flushed out on earnings, a nice sideways consolidation while you have pre-market going on. And what we've been seeing in this kind of earnings season is lately, like if you have like a really nice base in the pre-market, you may like flush out of it like really in the first few minutes. Like you could get like some action going and you get those thrusts down. The reason that I like Expedia a little bit better than Roku's been doing a lot of volume lately. And as traders, like we're always taught like volume is awesome. But there's almost such a thing as too much volume. You know, Roku at times has so much volume, has so much range that it's Algo City. And you just see like big $2 candles on the 5-minute chart, and then it pops this way and that way. I'm probably like 1 for 10 out of my last like 10 Roku trades. That's probably one of the reasons. But you can see here, it is still number 2 on the list, but I like Expedia a little bit better. We'll see which way this thing shakes out. Obviously, it breaks under 119. This thing probably flushed down. I don't know if they net loss more than doubles. You know, who knows what that even means, right? But you do have like a longer term rollover here. It was recently down to 100, so you do have room to fall. That's also going to be really important. I think this DXCM could move pretty well. This is a healthcare, biotech-y kind of stock. Only 83 million share float, even though it's a $14 billion market cap. Only 83 million share float. This thing is going to have a little bit of juice on it. My one worry on this is gapping up $30, which is not a huge deal for the sector and this type of PR. The issue on this one that I've been noticing at this price range on certain stocks is that there could be a spread on it. So if there's a spread on it, it's going to be a little bit tricky. We had, like, for example, we had GWPH. We had GWPH. And like yesterday, the spread on it was $2. The spread on it was $2. So you've got to be just super careful of where you're going with this. LVGO. I like this one. This is an IPO stock. This is an IPO stock. Oh man, look at this thing. You got 74 million share float. You got a nice little range break over here. If it holds, I think this one's got the juice. You're up about 21% pre-market. Because it's an IPO, though, I think you can still have legs on it. Wait for a pullback on this one, though. It is a little bit of a big pop. You may get an opening push, and then you're going to need to kind of pull back on it. When you see these earnings plays, guys, I want you to be mindful of this. When you see these earnings plays, and they, like, really pop hard, say the first few candles, and like say you see a dump like this. See how like you got this big dump? A lot of times you may see a dump like this and you think like, oh man, it's a short, like it's going to come back down. And then we're seeing this a lot. Like they start to just grind for a little bit. And while it's grinding, you don't want to just try to bounce it. Wait till these EMAs tighten up and they start to really compress. And like as you start to build a base and you're kind of holding that opening low, you'll see them ramp back. We saw this with INMD the other day too. See this? This is like your classic. Could happen with LVGL. It gapped up so much, and LVGL is going to gap up like 20%, that it just flushed down at the open. And a lot of times, like you'll lose track of it, and you'll say like, man, like this thing is maybe this thing is not gonna go. And then next thing you know, it's going, right? It's going. So you got to just be super, super careful, like not to chase always the first opening tick. But more important than chasing the opening tick is as it starts to hold. Like see how like you're holding at the 9 EMA? A lot of times like when you use a moving average, you think it's like an all or nothing. It's just going to hit the moving average and bounce. No, the moving average is like a guide, right? So you're going to hold it and you're using it as a guide. So like as it starts to round and hold, that's when you start to get the push, right? You use your moving average as essentially a stop, and you can like, you'll get these nice, see this thing goes from 36 to 40, same thing with pays. Like it pulls back really, really hard yesterday, and you think it's done, and then it just, boom, ramps back. So when you see a stock like LVGO up 21%, and you're like, maybe I'm not going to get a trade on it, you will. It just happens to be like sometimes you got to let them pull back. So this is looking actually really, really zesty. I've got this thing is, you guys see right here. Like yesterday it was hot. you're going to be attacking these highs right here. I didn't see any news on it. I don't know if anybody else. Did anybody else see any news on this bad boy? I didn't either, but you're starting to gap up on this thing. If you can clear this 1530, like, you're going to have some fun on this. This one looks pretty good. So let's keep this on. It looks like there's some type of takeover news on it. I like it. It looks pretty good. If it can hold over 1550, you're going to be going. Hey, Patrick, you can totally hook your MedVed trader to your Ameritrade. That's what I use whenever I book through my Ameritrade. Oh yeah. Piton, FCell, XP, good. Let's finish these gappers though. Trip is looking nice. This thing is looking nice. Like, you just busted through this thing, and bam! Like, now you're starting to break back through. I like this one. I keep Trip, I keep Trip pretty much close to the top of the list. The other thing with Trip is what? It moves with Expedia. They're in the same realm. They're competitors. Who knows like what they're actually doing with each other. They're competitors, and yeah, this thing is hot. So I like that. Carvana. Actually, put that on closer to the bottom of the list. This ELF is pretty cool. So you got about 4-month base. When you have like stocks that are busting out on earnings, but you have, let's say, 2 months, 3 months, like essentially like a long flag, what will often happen is, like, when you get the PR, that's your fundamental piece. Then when you cross over the big range, now you have essentially the technical piece that you need to go in. And dude, it's gonna be pretty. This one could be pretty fun. 48 million share float. You got a nice little gap on this thing, about 11%. So it's not too crazy. It's not too aggressive. I like this one. This is also, I don't know if this is a newer company. It's an IPO from a few years. It's fairly new issue. I think anything that's like less than 5 years it may not be an IPO, but it's a new issue. Robbie Mack in the house. The Riz Dizzy. The Mac Daddy. What's up, Robbie? I like this a lot, though. You can see on the weekly chart, you got a beautiful flag pattern. Now you busting over this thing. Man, this thing is hot. Hot with the HAWT. RL. This one could look too. Ralph Lauren breaking over the 200 SMA. 20 million share float on this one. Always a monster spread. That one looks pretty good though. And then we got Baidu. Everybody's asked about Baidu. Baidu's up 7% today. You got earnings out today also. You've got a big base here. So if you're looking at Baidu and you're thinking about its weekly chart, sometimes I like to go back to the weekly chart just to get a gauge of the levels. And you see here, like, you've got a level that's going back essentially from July-ish, right? July-ish. So anything 114, I think this thing, if it stays over 114, this thing's going to have the juice. It is a China name. Chinese stocks in general, they're little tricky traders. What do you notice about Chinese anything? Very, very slippery. You ever hang out with somebody that does Kung Fu? Kung Fu is a very slippery way of fighting. Very sneaky. It's a sneaky way of fighting. And Chinese stocks behave the same way. They're very sneaky. You're in it. You're thinking it's beautiful. Everything's looking good. Next thing you know, bam, it's gone. And I've seen this happen numerous times on Chinese stocks. They are like notorious for just dipping and ripping and shaking and baking. Before you know it, you don't even know what you've been trading. It's just the name of the game on these things. We got to just be a little bit careful, but I think we'll have a little pizza party on this too. I like Baidu more than IQ. IQ seems like it's in more of a rough spot. You can see like just big downtrend. You're still in range. I'm taking IQ off the list and going straight with the Baidu. And then I think Momo, if you need a Chinese stock, Momo looks pretty good. So you've got yourself a nice flat top breakout. You had a 2-day pullback to the 9. Now you got to bust it out of this range. What do you think of this one? Yeah. Danny Piton, you want to long or short that bad boy? Oh, Mr. Sumich, good. Chris, what's your fave today? Talk to me. Derek, okay, so you guys all like this Cody, huh? Man, this Cody was moving thick yesterday. Like at the open, it wasn't. At the open, it just shredded. And then the range was used up and it just sat there. When you use up like your range, think about like what a stock's normal range is. And then even when the range expands, like what are like its biggest days? If you used up all that range at the open and like the stock is a little bit thicker, you have a higher float, then what will happen is like you just sit around the rest of the day. Oh yeah. Good. That one looks okay. You could go on it for a day 2, but not really. You know, that's not my cup of tea. Piton long, huh? Man, you know, I can't figure out what this stock wants to do. It's like, is it up, down? It's just in a range, Danny. Ranges are the worst. It's like sitting in the back seat of your buddy's car, but in the middle. Right? You're not right nut. You're not left nut. Your penis in between us. And that's the worst spot in the car to sit. The worst spot in the car to sit is always in the middle of the back. And that's what you're going to have if you trade inside the range. So if that's what you like, then you trade this. But otherwise, I don't know, man. Like, it could go either way. Maybe it's a short. Maybe it's a long. I think the best plays are when you, like, know for sure. You're like, okay, I'm going to long this thing because it's trending or it's breaking out. Or I'm going to short this thing because it's got XYZ going on. That's when you're going to have yourself like a really clean play. Guys, put this pays on watch for a day 2. This thing's going to be sick. You've got a range break here. 30 million share float. It's a beaten down name, but it's held its 200 SMA for a while. It had, I believe its earnings were just yesterday. Revenue climbed to 9 mil. So this is a tiny little company. Tiny little company. Yeah, I like this one. This is my favorite day 2. What you think? Okay, good. Anybody trade the CNST yesterday? It's strange, that's for sure. Yeah, there was CNST, and what was the one with the N the day before that? NXTC. This thing was the wild one. I mean, it's like 30 to 100. Whew. Yeah, it's a little locos. Both of those are hard to trade. The liquidity was really, really tough. You can do it, by the way. If you're going to trade, like, say, 100 shares of it, you're good to go. But if you try to trade, like, 500 shares of it, the spread on it makes it almost impossible to trade. All right, so faves, EXP, Roku. We got DXCM, LVGO, Sono, Tripzilla. Oh, man, Trip Wave. Come on. Mr. Olson, where you been? Yeah, it was hot yesterday in the chat room, that's for sure. Man, we had like 30 minutes of fun, and it was like just ripping, roaring, and the rest of the day was so slow. It's been like that, though. This market It's giving you like 30 minutes to an hour of like just wham, bam. You're going to hit trade after trade after trade. And then you're going to sit there in a range the rest of the day and just like watch stuff. It can be a little bit frustrating. Let me see. Mr. Olson, what likes cost? Cost is nice. This to me looks like a swing trade. This is like a beautiful flat top breakout. You got a 1 test, 2 test, 3rd test on it. You got your moving averages curling up. That's a pretty good looking stock right there. I ain't gonna lie. That's a good looking stock. We got a lot of guys that seem to like Costco. Christian, what's your fave, buddy? I hear you. Okay, go get ready. I know you. That's what you playing. All right. What else? F-Cell. Hey, Dina, how you doing? I think this F-Cell might be a turd. I suspect. 182 million volume. I bet they got an ATM out there. Let me see. Carbon capture. Kind of cool. Could be. They might have an ATM on this thing. You may want to just check. What I mean by ATM is like a lot of times these names, they just pump them up to sell some shares on the open market. Robbie, I do think that Tesla is looking good. This is kind of, to me, looks like a swing. Look at this bad boy. Woo! So you got this push. Now you're curling. Guys, this is like, looks like a breakout. I was hoping it would open red on the day. We could go red to green. It's a good looking stock right there. You got to keep that. Tesla is what we call a tier 2. It's a daily trader. You can keep it on your list every day for the next couple months because of the good earnings. You got the gap on the good earnings. You got the consolidation. It's going to be in play for... It's going to be played for the next couple months. Yeah, it's a little expensive, that's for sure. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we can work on, guys, a couple people asking about, are we going to be doing any kind of scanning class? We'll do something on Monday. I've been building some new filters and stuff that we can play around with, so I'll get it going. Cool enough. Man, I think we got a good watch list here. One thing you're gonna have to do, all these stocks like that were popping yesterday, you're gonna have to narrow down the list here, right? Only a handful of these are really worth a day two. Good. I think, yeah, Tesla, you could probably get to 340 maybe. Faux show. If you look at like its past history, you know, the top of this candle was 340. So that's in sight here. So essentially, if you can get over this level, you're going to have it. And if you look more like at the weekly chart, you know, the real resistance starts to come in around like 360, 380. It always dies. Not always, but like it's been doing it since 2017. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's had 5 tests. And then you can see anytime it gets into the low 180s to 200, you get like a wicked $100 bounce. And then anytime it gets to 380, it drops about $100. So you gotta, you know, you have a shorter term pattern on Tesla that's triggered, and it has triggered. So, you know, essentially target to 340. And then you have a longer term thing that you have to be aware of, which is that, you know, typically once it gets towards the top of the range, you're gonna have a lot of resistance. Cool. Anybody else got any tickers they want to look at? I think we got a good solid list here. These are the faves. These are the faves. Yeah, you can just download. I mean, you can just download the list straight to your TC2000 if you want. I even ordered them for you. It's the ultimate lazy man's way. rock and roller, Coca-Cola. Let's go do this, guys. Everybody ready to roll? Sweet. Guys, check out that Trade Ideas test drive. I think on Monday I'll do like a little scanning class for everybody that takes the test drive. It's just like a trial, like an $8 trial on it. And I'll show you how to make some filters and stuff. Like there's some really interesting stuff that you can do. You can do VWAP plays and 9EMA plays, all sorts of fun. And as always, hit that like button if you like these YouTubes. Let's do this. Chris, you ready to roll? Let's make some money today, guys. Let's make some monies. All right.